It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity. About humanity. It's all about humanity.
Hello, hello. Welcome to Behind the Roleplay. We have, oh Jesus, we have a special guest today. We have the one and only Ray, or Rain, or Julia, depending on which character you know her as. We're going to be talking about behind the roleplay of almost every character that she has. We're going to be talking about a lot about the OOC work that does be put into roleplay. A lot of times that a lot of people make characters or they work jobs in roleplay. It feels like there's a lot of work that does get put in OOC, and the majority of the time there is. So this time we're going to be discussing all that fun stuff. So with no further ado, let's go ahead and bring in Ray. Like I said, this time we're going to be going behind the roleplay with all her characters. Give me 1 second. Turn this down just a little bit. Hang on. Hang on, I'm a professional streamer, I promise. Oh god. Oh god. There we go. Okay. Oh my god, everything's falling apart. Oh Jesus. Okay. Okay, I think I'm good. Okay, there we go. Hi. Sorry, everything was falling apart. Jesus Christ. Welcome to Behind the Roleplay. Thank you for coming on today.
Thank you for having me.
But so we're gonna dig right into it. You play about 3 characters, right?
Too many characters. I have a few secret characters that people don't know about. Mostly mainly play Julia Mitchell for Legacy, uh, Rain Cloud for the business committee, and that's that. Am I missing another character? Am I?
Yeah, the import, right?
Oh, yeah, Kimiko Hanzawa.
Kimmy. Okay, I was gonna say
For the
there's one.
underground and
Yeah.
Empire thing, yeah. Sorry, I was like, I know I have like another third main character, but I couldn't like think of her. But I haven't
Yeah.
played her for a minute because some things.
Yeah. So kind of starting with Julia, since that one's kind of like a character that is known as Legacy Mom. Or is it Mom Legacy? One of the two.
The legacy mom,
Yeah,
yeah.
Legacy Mom, yeah. So with obviously with how it started off with Legacy, and a lot of people who start businesses off, when Legacy was started, businesses like that wasn't really something to be thought of, right? Considering, to fast forward to now, it's like businesses, anything could really be a business, really, like there's no limitations as long as you present it to be a business. Or it can obviously be an opportunity for a business.
I
With
like to think that me and you really push forward with businesses in the city to be a thing.
Wait, what do you
Those,
mean?
well, at least starting on Rain and Smiles,
Oh,
we were very,
true.
very heavy in like trying to make businesses work
Well, I mean,
in the city.
well, see the thing. Okay, so with kind of like how with businesses and that type of RP, like I personally with Smiles, which was like my first ever like really story driven character. I was like, okay, like there's a guy that is dressed like a full like clown, squeaky shoes and everything, driving a clown van. Like, what's the biggest thing that could make people speechless? Like, have him like driven for business, like, obviously a lot of role play that does happen is cop and crim, very slight, mechanic RP, if you want to do like food, a little bit of that. But the main meat and bones of like actually like having meetings, discussing potential investors, having, just that drive of having that. And when I know that with Smiles, when he came across Rain, which, to be honest with you, I have no idea how they came across. I really don't remember.
I don't remember either. I don't remember how they started talking, but it was funny how it worked. Honestly, I like to think that Legacy kind of benefited off of Rain and Smiles becoming friends. Because obviously we were trying to start a business, but businesses at the time weren't really a thing. We had like the one or two, like the mech shops that were staff ran basically, and then like one other place that was like open at the time, but it was just like not something that you would like see very often nowadays. We have actually I could sit here and count how many businesses we have.
okay, wait. Before you, okay, chat. How many businesses do you think there are active right now? Not counting businesses that are waiting to get approved. How many do you think are active right now? Wait, does PD and
No,
Pillbox count?
I wouldn't count them as because they're their own like entity. They do have the business app, but I see them more as like a government entity than anything.
Okay, yeah, okay.
So I counted up, and then I'm not counting the two that are waiting to be built. But actually, I should count them.
Yeah, because aren't they? It's just kind of like they've already got
They're just
approved.
not in.
Oh, probably 8 to 10. Okay.
Let me recount real quick. I just want to say I have the right number. Okay. So that's I guess right now it's 8 to 10.
8 to 10. Yeah.
All right. We
23.
have
Well, okay, so 8 to
oh
10 or 23.
I would say she's closer. We
Really?
have 28 businesses.
28.
Two Ivy even knows that she's one of the businesses waiting. Um so technically we would have 30 if those two businesses were in.
What the fuck?
So technically as of right now we have 30 accepted businesses, 28 that are fully functioning and working right now.
That's fucking great. Like, and you know
Now
what?
compare that to when we first were in the server about like 2
There was
years ago.
none. It
And there
was
was like two.
well, I mean, well, it wasn't like because technically, so I remember back way back when the Taco Hut was ran by a Italian guy named Tony.
Yeah, and Taco Hut was open, and the NV Mech Shop was
Yeah,
one.
those were like the only really two businesses that were like.
I want to say Carbon and Chrome might have been open, but I don't.
I don't think
Maybe
so.
I don't
I
think
feel like they
they
came
were.
around. I think they came around maybe like a couple. I feel like maybe a couple months.
Carbon and Chrome has been with us for a very long time, only because Nate's literally been in the server forever.
Hmm.
But I don't. Yeah, I don't think they were completely up when it was just MV Shop at that point.
Well, so with how obviously like that business like RP and how you do have Rain kind of in that business. Originally, Rain wasn't at all like in like obviously she was trying to do a morgue basically and have it to
Yeah.
where you can have it to where if your character were to die and if someone were to reach out and stuff like that. um I do want to talk about compared now to then, but for just the sake of the business change of going from having that morgue and having that RP, how was that kind of, because morgue RP I feel like would be kind of difficult a little bit, right? Because it's kind of like it's not your typical business I guess you would see even in RP, right? So was it
Yeah.
ever a challenge for you to kind of try, because I've even said this multiple times, you are your best hype man when it comes to your business in RP. Like if you hype it up, people will be hyped to see it, and they don't even know what the fuck it is.
I honestly would love to reopen it, but at this point it was the only reason why it ever closed was because the morgue wasn't after it was actually I was great. I was doing wonderful before the wipe. When the server had a wipe, people weren't ready to kill their characters because obviously um they're making money and all this stuff. There
Hmm.
was no
Right.
need for my business at the time, so it was really hard to even run nowadays if I still had my business open. Yeah, I'd probably be a lot more active, but
I feel like now the permitting like with that has like gone down like tremendously, right?
yeah,
Like
even nowadays I don't think people permit as much as they did before the wipe.
they used to
Um
permit. It used to be
I
scary.
think it's honestly because of how many character slots we have now.
Oh yeah, true.
So it's kind of like you can just always like put them on breaks. But a lot of people don't really tend to care for that RP either. A lot of people don't like killing off their characters, which is, I mean, I understand. I've only permed one character of mine, and I don't really plan on perming another and bawling my eyes out.
Oh, so I'm not the only
Um,
one that comes to that type of thing. Okay. I literally
no,
bawl my
like
eyes out, and whenever I permit a character that I've starting to grow and like start to actually like a lot, and I permit them, it's like, bruh, like with Mr. Smiles and Mr. Ink, I bought my eyes on Mr. Ink to be honest, because I think I was just sad because it was a nice story, and it was like, damn, had uh the whole server like doing lockdowns for for just a character. It wasn't
yeah,
like a group, it was just what I'm saying. So it was like I got hella attached.
yeah, I can't. I mean, I might one day. I don't think I'd ever perma Julia. I always picture of me and Carter were like done playing the characters completely. They're gonna go like live their life, raise their kid, um, retire. I don't think I'd ever actually like RP out a perma. I know Carter's tried
He's
many
tried.
times.
The fucker.
He's
That
tried many
fucker
times.
tried so many fucking times, and he always leaves us at this. We'll be. I'll leak it right now. God damn it! Listen, we've been in our DMs, and he'll be like, "Guys, I'm perming today." I'm like, "What the what?" Like they're like, "No,
Yeah.
don't do it." And then a couple of days, we won't hear from him, and he'll be back. I'm just kidding. Like that's not something you just JK and smile about. Like what the fuck?
Well, I think it's very hard for him too because Carter is basically his only character.
Yeah.
He has his one crim that he plays, but like Carter is like his favorite among all of his other characters. So it
Well,
is very hard. But
I
eventually one day like we will have to stop playing this character.
I was thinking that too. Like
It's like they're 3 years old now, 3, 4.
yeah,
They're old. We've had like you've
mine's.
even had Jimmy with the same amount of time we've had Carter and Julie.
Yeah, about
So,
almost 3 years, and like so I do want to ask you that though too. Is like with how long you had your character, and you know, with Jimmy, I do whatever I want with him, right? Like he's not really tied down. I do have his like basics, which is just like do music, but like at some point, I like he's gonna do everything. At some point, I'm gonna make him a cop. I'm gonna be honest with you. like,
I'm surprised he hasn't done
I
everything
want
yet. I mean,
to.
he
I don't know if
worked in the
I don't know if it's
hospital for
allowed
what, a week?
for security. Yeah, and fucking had a
For a
meltdown,
week.
bro. But you gotta think about it. Compared to what the hospital was then to now, it's dramatically different. Like you don't have fucking crackheads just rolling in, like literally walking in the lobby and just screaming at the top of their lungs and then leaving. Like
Right.
it's not. It's very different, but I don't know. Do you think that you like? You do everything you can with well, I guess with just Julia and Rick, because with Julia is like you've been
I've added more stuff to Julia's
you just add
to-do
stuff
list lately.
well, so you were up top of like the hospital, right? Or are you top of the hospital now?
I
Or
was chief of the hospital on Julia before we had directors, and then stepped down because I wanted to focus on legacy, and I was just burnt out on EMS. And
yeah.
then now recently I've stepped back in as a director, but it's more of I wouldn't say I run it. I would say Atticus, um is played by Beard. I'm gonna say his name wrong. I'm just gonna say Atticus. Atticus
Mhm.
and Pop and Boombats run the hospital daily, and they've been doing a great job. But I'm like kind of a director there to like help, yeah, like direct.
Yeah.
So like Julia comes in every now and then, but I'm a bit more hands off when it comes to the hospital now, but still there now.
Well, so
And
like,
then
so
and
what's your
then now with the
breaking
videos and
point?
shit.
Like what's kind of like the point of like I'm not adding anything else to Julia? Because like I feel like I said for me, like with Jimmy, like my breaking point be a cop. Like after he becomes a cop, and if I role play that for a bit, that's
You get a
it.
perma as a cop
It just
too.
might as well, right? But my the shit that I would get
It's
OOC,
easy to perma as a cop, I think,
oh,
because like you have so
100%.
many ways to like do it.
You fall off a building, get shot,
Hmm.
you eat spoiled food. You know what's crazy? I actually want to perm my character at some point and eat food somewhere and get food poisoning. That's not against the rules, right? Like, imagine. Remember, we had a
I
discussion.
feel like the business will feel some type of way if you if you forever shame them for killing them with food poisoning.
Well, we talked about having maybe me having like an inspector going through. Imagine having an inspector and try out food, and then like the last business of the day you go to, fucking perma.
I think people forever hate you.
They make a ticket.
Uh,
I feel like a ticket would get made. I feel like a ticket would instantly get made and be like, "This
I would
is."
find it more fun if you would do it where it's like, oh, it's possible that he could have done it, but then like they had to do this whole on investigation to find out like, oh, he had like some
It faked it. He
weird.
faked it. Like he actually he actually put his own poisoning in it. Like or some shit.
Yeah, just something silly to the point where it's like, okay, that business didn't do it, but for a while they had the heat on them.
That'd be
I
good
feel like
though.
I feel like that would be fun, but like sometimes people just stick to like narratives and don't like pay attention to stories and like will like always forever hate on a business, and I think that's why businesses get a little antsy when they have like negative feedback on them.
Well, and
That's
even then, right? Well,
something I
we've
see a
had
lot.
that. We've had that one time when we had a doodle event at Legacy Lounge, and like someone got taken hostage, and as Legacy got brought to the business committee, I think like when Alan was in it, right, or something like that, and he had a meeting about people getting taken hostage. It's like, okay, we can't help that. Like it was like 20 some people in a small building. Like I was outside trying to have a fucking panic attack, and like it was just a lot. And
Yeah.
they're like, well, maybe you should do more security. We had security, but like
Mm.
I don't know. I feel like like I said, with businesses, it's like I don't know. It's like sometimes the role play with businesses can be really good, but sometimes they kind of want to get in, get out, make money, and that's kind of like they don't like shit to be wrong. Like if
Yeah.
if someone comes by like food poisoning or some shit, it's like first off, that can't. There was like, oh, that can never happen. It's like, but it could,
It
kinda.
could.
It could, right?
It
Like,
could. Um, I haven't really announced it to the whole server as of yet, but I know that all the business owners know it. Of like all the new things we're adding in with like fines and everything for to help with like dev work. And then we have the whole inspector thing coming in, which even the business owners don't know, and so I'm not gonna go like onto detail here, but I think people should just think of it as like literally that's what it's gonna be, like an inspector. People come in, they'll inspect the building, like employees, everything. And
yeah.
it's just kind of like that fun RP of, oh my god, I gotta be perfect for the inspector. I don't know when they're coming type of thing.
I mean, jobs like do that anyways. Like,
Hmm.
like I think that in businesses in general, like where my mom works, like the Kroger business or whatever, like they have inspectors that come in and to look at the floors, make sure they're clean, like stuff like that.
Yeah, like
Uh,
secure, like I even want to like have them do like safety hazards, like look at like some if there's something that's like hazardous and like could cause harm to like mark them on it and just be like have that little bit of like just RP self-awareness because like obviously in RP like everything looks great, but I enjoyed your inspector character when he and Suchi's. I don't know if Suchi's is like that now, but when Suchi's was like really dirty in the kitchen,
oh
you were
yeah,
just like yeah, yelling at Chi Chi
yeah,
about it.
yeah. No, it's
I thought
yeah.
that was fun because it made it feel really like realistic to the point of like, oh yeah, and like we should probably act like we're cleaning, like being like food safe, everything else like that. I think that would bring more fun to businesses besides the daily like, um, here, buy, give me this, okay, bye type of thing that happens constantly.
Well, see, the thing with that, right, and like with my side of that, with how it was RP'd and stuff, like, uh, I just went around and said, I was an instructor, but then people would one up me and be like, "Do you have any paperwork to prove it?" And I was like,
Yeah, that's fun.
it's like, no, I didn't think that far ahead. I don't think people would call my bluff. Like, I thought if I had the
And
pet
that's
model of
fun.
a chef, like, like it would that was the
And some
paperwork,
people went along with it,
Yeah,
and you
yeah. Some
did the whole
people,
thing where like
Butters really
Hannah.
didn't like it. Really, Butters didn't like it at all. Like he was like, "Get the fuck off my property," and I was like, "Your business is shit, whatever." And like, Chi Chi went along with it. But see, what I really want, and I know that you say it's private, right? But like, what I did with that was even went to Bolingbrook and went to the kitchen and like tried to like inspect it also, and it was like even with businesses or even if they have their own like this the quote unquote state. Yeah, I think there was times where when I was in school like the state would come, or no, not even that, it was when I worked at a retirement home, and the quote unquote state would come by and inspect each section of the building or whatever. And if you got points scored and it was horrible, then it was like you failed and like chance you could lose your job because you didn't clean this properly or whatever. And like stuff like that. I think that'd be really cool too. Having like
I'd probably do that. I'd probably do that, but I probably wouldn't put the committee in charge of it because they already have
oh
literally, like I
so much.
explained, 30 businesses and
Yeah.
not four of them to deal
Yeah.
with. Uh,
But how cool that
I'd
like I like the
probably I'd
state though,
probably get somebody just to do that, just to have like fun with MRPD, DOJ, like give them something else too. I
Yeah.
just they're always so busy. It's hard to like plan that RP around them.
Oh, for sure.
Um, because I've even gone there a couple times to like do other things, even like as a judge, and it's just like it's so hard to catch them. They're so busy taking care of
Well, they're going
400 plus
they're
people.
when they stop in front of you, it's like you're seeing God for the first time because like you don't see them much longer, and then it's
I
like you
mean, yeah,
blink and they're
like Bishop
gone.
himself, it's like
Yeah.
literally, it's a legend if you actually get to meet him and you're not a cop.
Listen, it's not that. Listen, I talk to Bishop almost every day in this server whenever I see. I don't know what y'all talking about. Like it's crazy. Yeah, but I don't know. Like I think that is something. I think business in general is I wouldn't say it's missing, but I would say that I don't know, bring like an extra layer of role play because obviously there's a big I wouldn't say argument, but like talking about how businesses make a lot of money and they do. Like yeah, obviously if you hire people and you actually like you want to give that RP, and then you're not the only one working, so it's like round the clock and stuff like that, and then have that that drive of like, hey, we have to make this perfect, or like this is gonna leave a bad review or some shit like that, and it's like I don't know. Oh, do you know, be sick if you
Hmm.
can actually have like a piece of paper, and like how like they'll have businesses have paper like on the wall or something like that, and like you have you graded, like your business is graded or something like that.
I
That
was actually grading is becoming a thing. Yeah, that's
really
something that I'm gonna be adding in. We're also gonna be doing something like a business of the month, because obviously we're gonna be collecting funds and everything, and I don't really have like ideas of what to do with those funds besides like help with businesses if they want to move locations or other things like that. Like it's basically I'm collecting funds to help give back to other businesses who can't afford it. Like there's some businesses like even like we struggle with legacy up until like a certain point like nowadays. Where it's like we couldn't really afford anything and Jimmy had to sit there and
fuck that.
sell
I'm
so
not.
much
I hope y'all
stuff.
know. I hope y'all know I'm never doing it ever again. I hope y'all know that.
But yeah, but
I
it's
can't
like
do
there's
that again.
businesses that
But
can't make that
yeah.
profit, so like other people.
Hmm.
Mechanic shops make a decent amount of profit because it's a consistent need of something. Food places can make that type of profit. It depends on how they handle their obstacles, but Legacy itself
Is
is
that you
not a
would call him
food
Burger
place.
Shot Out? Did you just call Burger Shot Out? Because I feel like that was a hit towards Burger Shot. Wow.
I'm I feel like Burger Shot made themselves very hard to handle. I enjoy their concept. I feel like there's better ways to do things, but understand why they did it. It is more fun. It's made me want to do more things with food businesses, but it is a bit harder for them, and I understand that. But that is what they asked for, so I can't really judge them if that's what they wanted.
I feel like at the same time, like it's a really cool concept, but at the same time, it's like if the way that I view it, right, is that Legacy, we talked about having like our own little drink thing, actually make the ingredients and stuff like that. But I feel
Mhm.
like if you put that standard of like, okay, like we have to make the food, you're gonna have to somehow plan it in and be like, hey, we get meat this day. Like was like certain restaurants IRL, they'll like Italian restaurants, they'll be closed on Monday. Monday is I think when they do like their inventory and like get their ingredients, stuff like that. And that way they open up for like the whole week and weekend or some shit, And it's
Yeah.
like I feel like with Burger Shot, like again, concept, perfect. But it's like the it's kind of a grind a little bit,
I feel it's a grind for the owners, not as much as the employees. Which I mean, we've run into that recently, where or not recently, all the time, where it's very hard to hold on to employees.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that we've talked about that too. Is like, you know, with the roleplay server, like it's you'll have times where you'll have someone who always comes around, always is in the server, always down for any type of roleplay. But then you have people who, again, not in a bad way, but they genuinely just they come in, they stay for a few days, and they just never come back around. It's like
Yeah.
it is rare for those people to kind of like stay in the roots and stay into the um is something that you're gonna have to adapt to, and uh when you have that employee, you gotta make sure not to like overwork them too, because like grand enough, it's gonna be one of those things where you're gonna make them higher in rank, but like don't do it like immediately, it's like
Yeah. Don't do it
gradually.
immediately.
Yeah, because
Um,
there was times where I was like, oh man, like moments I'm gonna make this person uh somewhat in there after hiring, but then after like 2 weeks it's like, oh, I'm glad I didn't do that, because nope, it's not worth it.
yeah. It's pretty bad. I don't really blame those people because it's literally RP. You're just wanting to
Hmm.
like go out and do different things and see what can make you money. Businesses, I'd say, like you're not making money like you want to be making money. Like how other people want to make money, like fishing and all the other like normal business type things. So once they like see those first couple paychecks and see that like, hey, I'm not making as much like I should be, then they don't really come back around, which is fine and it's understandable why those people don't stick around. It's more businesses are there for the RP. You're not sitting there making like millions and millions off of them.
Right.
Some businesses are lucky like that, and some businesses are really not. You're like really just there for the story and the building of
Well, just experience
relationships.
too. Yeah, yeah. Because like with with moments like it's not your typical business where it's like either a mech shop or food place and stuff like that. It's very like you talk to people, you build a rapport with people get to know you very well, and then like Cree right now has like 1K to his name, but the business is doing really good, but
Right.
Cree on the other, because it's like I prefer it to be like towards a business, and we have this really cool idea. Oh, dude, Ray, we have this really cool idea for like for the office space to have like sets inside the
Yeah, I think you
office.
explained that to me before. I
Yeah,
thought it was a super cool idea.
yeah. We finally got it working now, and like the first set's done, and it's like all run down. It has like barricades like on the wall. It's so fucking cool, dude.
Can you
It's
please have like a day where you do like those family photos, you know what I'm talking about,
oh
where they like
yeah,
wear the sweaters and they have to pose really
100%.
weird.
Oh, we no, yeah. There's going to be like a group area, and it's going to be very modern. And it's going to be like you can have like a family op picture, like have a Polaroid.
Like the
Yeah,
awkward family
yeah,
picture.
100%.
I would love to see that,
hundred
honestly.
percent. Yes, like that's my goal. I'm telling you, like with like I said, with photography, it's like you know, people's like, oh, you make a shit ton of money. Not really. It's just that when the prices are low, but when people start stacking shit, it's like, damn, okay, well, we're getting close to 50K.
A lot of
Like,
people think you make a lot of money with businesses, and I think some business, yes, you do, and some you don't. I mean, literally, technically, what it took us almost over a year after a wipe for Carter and Julia to finally get a house
true.
because we refused to do anything but like legacy and
Yeah.
not like go grind money.
Well, Sasha even got a house. Even then,
Yeah, recently. Yeah,
yeah,
but she had to have help with that as well. I was like, we just don't make a whole lot of money as characters who literally are just here for, I guess, content purposes. I
right.
would like to say is what our characters really are for. Or it's literally we're here to RP. And so we don't have all the nice things, and it would be nice to have the nice things, but at the same time, I don't feel like wasting like hours of my day doing that. I like to just interact with people. I find that more fun, and if people want to like gain money and then go interact, that's fine. I mean, everyone does their own thing. I mean, I've done that character as well, where it's just like, Erilyn, I guess would I would say is that character where she would
We'll just
grind
grind,
all
right?
day.
Yeah.
She'd grow weed all day, sell drugs, like do all the crime stuff like all the criminals. And that's normal. And like so I had everything, but like I find it more fun just interacting with people.
And
That's literally all we do in Legacy, and that's all I do in Rain at this point as well. Like Rain literally has nothing to her name. I've literally bought I think two people cars with the money I get on Rain and nothing for her
Jesus
herself.
Christ.
She literally is just homeless. She's homeless, has no car, she walks everywhere.
Otherwise,
But she buys people things.
she get taken hostage or no?
Not as much as she used to. It used to be a common occurrence, and it was so funny whenever I used to get taken hostage because she used to date a cop, and he died, and he had her hold his heavy the day before he died. And so she used to have this broken PD heavy on her all the time. So when cops checked her, she had
Oh
to have like
Jesus.
the cops that knew her and him were together like explain why she had it and they weren't allowed to take it from her. I don't have it anymore, sadly. I probably should like get one for myself just so I can keep that RP, but I don't get taken hostage, so I don't have that interaction anymore.
Must be fucking nice. I'll just be on Jimmy, just on the side of the road, just sitting there, kind of like trying to find inspiration for words or whatever, like for music, and then it's instantly like two cars roll up, and there's like, oh fuck. Then they'll have discussed to each other on who would want to take Jimmy, and then that's the funniest fucking thing. And it's like they're like, well, we want his milk, and then they go, what the fuck? What do you mean you want his milk? And then they just drive off. But it's
The
it's
one day you were sitting outside of a business committee, I was like, he's gonna get taken hostage. He's gonna get taken hostage.
I
I
didn't
was so scared.
surprisingly. I didn't surprisingly. That was very shocking. So so with how obviously with Rain and how she started off as a morgue and now it's like she's now a part of the actual business committee. Like with how dramatic change things can happen, because before it was a mayor would approve the business, right?
Yeah,
And
uh-huh.
then like it would just, and how can I word this? Like it would approve it, but I feel like it was so foreign to people. They were like, so I think that you would have to get a business, like a business proposal. Like I think you'll have to get, and then now compared to
Yeah, there
now, it's
wasn't
like
any, like, information on it
I
whatsoever.
no, you could literally walk in with a piece of paper and be like, I want this business to do this, smiley face, and then they would be like, okay, approved, you know. And it was like,
Well, it'd be like, "Okay, approved," and then you would never hear anything
you never
back,
hear
and
anything
then
back. Yeah, it was,
I
yeah,
had the before I was staff, before anything, like, I literally had the whole thing stuck in my head that's like, "Oh, the mayors are only getting their friends approved and um, not, like, businesses that would actually matter,"
yeah,
because we had like, a couple different businesses start, and but, like, Rain had been accepted for the morgue for, like, months and months, but I was only seeing other businesses after Rain got accepted jump up, and I was really confused on what was going on, and it just turned out it was just, like, literally there was no direction, there was no anything, it was just kinda like, "Hey, do this thing," and then staff or flaws at the time, because I don't know if there's any other devs, would just be like, "Okay, I'll do it." And then so it was just like a big
just
mess.
clusterfuck. Yeah, it was just
Mm.
like
I
it
was like, "I
was.
don't wanna cuss on your
No,
stream,"
you
but
could
yeah, it was
fuck
a
it. Well, you're first
clusterfuck.
off, you're the one's going to be uploading onto the fucking the channel, so
No,
you're the one, you know, if it's too
that's
much,
fine.
like, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like, so when having that responsibility, right? Because it's no, because technically speaking, the business committee is kind of your business in a way, right? Because
It is technically, yes, my business,
you
yeah.
kind of run that, right? So,
We
and
even got recently a job app, so they actually have jobs and they actually get paid now.
oh
It used to
shit.
just be all volunteer basis, so
Okay. So with having that kind of going from obviously like morgue RP to have it where it's like, the end of someone's role play to now being like the actual start of someone's else's role play, like has there been a dramatic change in how you carry Rain? Or is it kind of just still the same? Like, because I feel like death RP is something that would kind of like damn, like people only want me
Rain
for a death,
is if people knew Rain's actual story, they would feel so bad for her. A
It
lot of
was
people don't know
depressing,
Rain's
yeah.
story because I don't RP her like as a character like I should. I don't go out and interact. I don't sit down and like have those conversations where you're like, yeah, so like where are you from? Like, what's your story type of thing. I don't have that interaction with Rain. I should, but I'm so busy on every other character that I don't. She's kind of been a character that kind of got stuck in her story, but she has a lot of background and like she's a tragic character. But you won't
It's an
think that. You
understatement.
just see her as somebody that somebody will look at her and be like, "Oh, that's just a girl who likes to wear black and she runs businesses." That's all you see Rain as. But I mean, I can kind of explain. I don't want to sit here and go on and on
You could
about her
explain it.
story.
Yeah, it was. Well, but I'm spoiler. It's behind the role play. Yeah, it's kind of the
Behind
whole
the role
premise,
play.
the whole show.
Well, for all my characters, I usually end up writing a story. I literally will sit down and write a whole document. So Rain has a really long document. Her story basically starts off. She's from Chicago, and she was an orphan. She was raised as an orphan, and in the, obviously, kind of like based around that whole Chicago has really bad crime. She kind of was like raised in the bad neighborhood with the orphanage. Like had friends, and they would go sell drugs and do like bad things as kids do. And she ended up watching her like friends get shot down over like selling on the wrong territory because again Chicago is very gang heavy.
Yeah,
So they sold on the wrong territory. She watched her friends get killed, and she was not very. I forget how I worded it to where she was basically found and raised um in a family that was like one parent was a DOJ judge character type of person, and then the other was they were a funeral director. And she was more interested in that, but she went to school for both when she got older. Um, she's also a character that has an eating disorder. She was very heavy as a child, and again, something I don't really RP nowadays, but people, if they know her, would understand it. I would not eat on Rain. Rain would always fall over and faint and pass out because I wouldn't eat on her. She's always very particular about um, her body, about how she looks, everything like that. She's scared to gain weight, and that's something I don't like to bring up because people don't really like to have that RP, right? It's something I kind of put on the back burner, but it's like for myself, for my
Right.
character. I don't like to make people think about that or deal with that type of RP. But that's something that I've had her like grow from as a character. But yeah, that's one of her little quirks. And then but basically she stuck herself into going to school, and she got her degree in law, and she also got her degree in funeral directing, but she really had a love for the funeral director side because she watched that funeral director. I think that's how they met. It was he was doing their funerals for her friends, and she like just kind of fell in love with it, and so she kind of stuck with that, and so she did that, and she moved and like fell into the wrong crowd again, because originally Rain is supposed to be a crim. She was never supposed to be this business judge character that she is now.
Was she a judge now?
Yeah, oh yeah, she's a
What the fuck?
judge. She's a judge. I was going to make another character for the judge, but I wanted Marisa to be on Rain, so she is now a judge with the DOJ, and she hasn't done her own case yet because I'm still a little nervous with it. It's a big job. It's kind of scary for me, but I'm actually enjoying it. I like really, and I'm getting really into watching the cases and all the paperwork that goes in with being a judge. But mostly she's the business committee, and but yeah, she moved to Los Santos, and she was selling drugs, and the business came from her wanting to have a legal inside to like cocaine, I think, was our big thing we wanted to sell. When we had our crims, we had a couple different characters that were her friends. And I had this whole idea of doing cocaine drops by pretending to bury them at a certain gravesite.
What the fuck?
Um, well, wouldn't be buried. It would be more like it has something to do with the flowers as well, because that's why she was selling flowers.
I wish that
And
was
like
a
I
thing
had that whole
again.
thing.
I wish that was a thing. I like. I know they got the prison to do roses, but like when you had like roses and like actual like
I
you
mean,
know
there might be a proposal for something, you
bouquet,
know.
like be sick.
There's, there might be a couple different proposals that might intrigue you for that, but I
Imagine
just
flowers relieve stress. Imagine that, bro. Imagine you use it, a flower, you smell it,
that
relieve stress. Like
would be nice. But yeah, her whole flower thing was supposed to be like, oh yeah, if you buy like this bouquet, this would also be for like this amount of like drugs and stuff, and I would drop them off at the gravesite and be like, oh yeah, I'm getting flowers delivered for my mom that passed away. But it'd actually be like drugs getting dropped off there and stuff. That's like was like my whole original idea for the morgue. And then all the friends that I had on Rain kind of like went on their own way or they died. She had her one character that she dated. That is Trayvon North. That was DeAndre Williams. That he dated, and then he died along with my other character,
oh, Jesus.
Marilyn. And so Rain had that whole like sad arc where she didn't want to be around people because she lost that. And then she met uh Tyler, the cop, who was the one who told her that her boyfriend died. And then he had feelings for her, so he tried to date her, and she kept putting it off and off and off, and then finally the day where she's like, fine, I'll move on and I'm gonna date him, he dies.
Oh my god.
So now I have it stuck in Rain's head, and it kind of makes sense now for where she's more of a supportive character is she cut off any ties of friendships, um, because she believes that if she has somebody close to her, she has a friend or a lover, any type of that, she thinks they're going to die. She thinks she's literally like cursed. She thinks that if anyone is close to her like that, they will die. So she keeps everyone very like distant from her. No one is supposed to know who she is or her story because she's terrified of them dying. I mean, she even had before DeAndre died, she even had your character die on her and
Yeah.
literally get displayed in her house. And that was like
Yeah, that was
one of
a
her like best friends, which was so funny to me.
Jesus.
Which no one will ever know this, but Rain Cloud, the judge in the business community, is deathly scared of Jimmy Dore.
Okay. Well, there's some things that, Jimmy kind of keeps to himself. And I feel
We
like,
have so much history and like story building among all characters. It's kind of hard to follow
yeah.
because we didn't really have a whole lot of people to interact with from other servers. So we interacted with ourselves. So we have a lot of mixed stories of from other characters.
I, I
Nowadays it's not
feel
really like that. We have so many people to interact
too
with.
many people to interact with. Like,
But like from our story building, it was like we do have characters that have known each other, but they don't interact anymore, which is like Rain and Jimmy don't interact anymore.
yeah, if I ever need business stuff, I'll go with Curry and just like, can I just get, and then like let, Carter and Sasha and all of them go to the business meet. Jimmy, I
Jimmy
just,
doesn't even know she's scared.
yeah, he does.
She acts weird around him every time he used to buy flowers. I would make purposely act weird around him. Yeah.
I don't know, I feel like it, obviously it's not allowed to do that, but like,
Hmm.
I don't know, I feel like it's, I like going back what you said about how like interacting, with ourselves and stuff like that. Like, I feel like with how interacting with like with your friends and stuff like that, there's always a part of me that's like, how much can I push for them to like be like, what the fuck is this? So I think that with what, I'm not gonna spoil it because I don't want people to know, but like with
Yeah.
what happened, I think I wanted to push that envelope and be like, okay, like this is probably the most fucked up thing I'll ever have a character. Well, my character. Well, actually, not true. My character. Well, Jimmy in general. Just be like, okay, that's the
Yeah.
most
It's
fucked
like
up
a
thing.
deep dark secret for Jimmy that
Yeah,
like no one would probably ever know, but it's like it's story building for him. Which is kind of like the same thing I was talking about with like the eating disorder with Rain. So story builder for her, but it's something I'm not really gonna ever like bring up unless it's like needs to be brought up, I suppose.
I feel like it wouldn't really need to be brought up unless, unless it's like, I don't know, unless someone really just fucking fishing for information, which I feel like
Right. Like
unless
if so, like say for example like how you did with Smiles, no one knew his background story, but you started the RP of an investigation to know his background, and then for him to have this complete like story change. I mean, you did that really well with Mr. Smiles. I don't know if you do that with Jimmy, but like that's
I
kind of
wouldn't do that
like,
with Jimmy because
but
I've
that's
already,
like how it would probably
yeah,
come up though,
yeah.
is you would push that narrative of like something needs to happen for that information to come out. Jimmy's not gonna remember that he did that and like go around saying shit.
Well, I think I've talked to like Bonnie and a few people. We were saying how like how would we see our characters like I guess you say like retire or whatever, and it's like, Bonnie was saying how Sasha would just be like move away or whatever and like settle in, and then it was like somebody was saying some, and I was like with Jimmy, I feel like it would be so heartbreaking and like so just like crushing is like it, it zooms out from his goggles and he's actually in like a psych ward, and like I think you were there too, we're talking about it. It was just um like everybody around him, right, is like they're just like fake dolls like put together by like brooms and
Yeah.
stuff like that, have like Sasha, Carter, Julie, like, but it's all in his head, you know what I'm saying, like it's not even
Right.
real, and it's like,
Yeah, kind of like how Samantha and all that
yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
real.
all of that.
Yeah.
But the crazy thing would be like Samantha would be real, but this wouldn't, like all legacy, all that isn't real,
Right.
And it's like it's all just in his head. I think that'd be the fucking that.
I think that'd be like something. Obviously, it's something. It wouldn't be something you could like RP. like in the server, but it'd be like a nice like video to
Oh
make
my god, I would,
for
dude.
like a goodbye to Jimmy almost,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, which is would be very hard for me because Jimmy's like, I don't know. I feel like I was thinking about this the other day. Is like with Jimmy and with Cree, I'm starting to really enjoy Cree because with Jimmy, I feel like I have to be that chaotic energy, right? I know with your characters are very like not like vocal, you know, they're very like, you know, obviously like Julia and Rain, like they're both kind of like they're very to themselves, you know, they're very like not very loud. Kree was like my first character that was like, you know, no loudness, kind of just quiet to himself. And I see why you like that so much, to have that just character of just like not doing anything crazy, just literally just being normal. Like there's no flaws, there's no nothing, you know, like don't have to worry about having no dicks, or like don't have to worry about lactating. Like it's just a
Yeah,
normal
you don't
character.
just a normal character, yeah.
Normal character is
Yeah,
boring, you know?
the only character I would say that has like I'd say Kimiko is also quiet herself. She's kind of like become this like mom of the Fujiwara family, even though I haven't been playing her recently. I always end up taking the mom positions apparently in everything. But she's also a character I have fun with because I actually act very spoiled on Kimiko. It's really fun for me to like have like some type of different um quirk, I guess you would say. Um, like and you'll see a lot of people they'll dig through garbage and everything else, and that's normal because people want to like find stuff in garbage, and it's like,
Mhm.
but she refuses, and like all of her family will sit there and like dig through garbage, and it's fun for them, and they'll be like, "Come join us," and Kimiko's like, "No, like that's gross. I'm not doing it ever." In the underground, we have like dirty couches and stuff for people to sit on while we do like races and stuff down there. And she refuses to sit on the couches because they're dirty. She's like just this little spoiled princess that I love to play. But again, I don't interact on her that much, so people don't really understand it unless you were close to that character. So, but I've enjoyed playing her as different because Julia and Rain are very down to earth, very okay. We'll do this, we'll do that. We don't really care. But Kimiko actually has a lot of like standards that have to be met for her to be enjoying herself. She even talks down to people at some points, but like again, her character isn't like to be in your face about it. She'll sit there and talk behind your back, she's very fun and like refreshing to play sometimes when I do play her.
I feel the same whenever I'm like, you know, I don't want to get on Jimmy, I don't want to get on Kree, even just in Apollo, for example. Like, and I have those characters where they're just like kind of like a one-off character, or not even one-off, just like character that just play just one time. It's like sometimes like that refreshingness, like of you get to see like a different side of role play in a server is like something that um I for myself I just need, you know, because for me I get so used to seeing the same thing over on either way, and like having that side, like you said, having that side of like, you know, a personality that, you know, that Jimmy would never have, or Kree, like if have a character that's just complete left field, you know, like it's sometimes you need that to kind of like um to just, you know, to see that it isn't the same like with any character. You know, it's kind of like you have that different characters that are obviously very different, but when you have that different character that's like completely left field from your main character you're just default to, it's like, damn, okay, well, I'll get back to my normal character and get, you know, and then, you know, it can maybe create some fucking brain flow for something else to be in, you know?
Yeah, I don't have the energy to be chaotic, but I do have the energy to like. I really like adding in. I keep saying quirks, and I hate using that word, but quirks. I like adding in different types of like personality and different types of what is my character okay with, what is my character not okay with, which is a lot more fun. Rain herself is a vegetarian, and I used to push that a lot when I played Rain. I would go to businesses and be like, "Oh, you don't have vegetarian food? Well, that's okay. I'll have water," and stuff like that. When I did allow her to eat, and actually, is why Astrid put in vegetarian tacos in Taco Hut was because Rain always talked about and like she couldn't order anything from the Taco Hut. So that's why she had that on there, and I think there's more options now out there with the food businesses growing, and it's more fun to interact with. Sadly, my character doesn't eat either, so I don't enjoy those foods.
Well, it used to be just full on just meat. Now it's like a veggie burger or something that sorts like that. Now, like I said, it's
No,
like
there's all kinds of stuff, and there's
yeah.
more stuff coming. I mean, we have on the proposal list probably actually. I want to actually check it because I think it just got updated with how many proposals we have waiting now, which is sad to look at, and I feel bad. Um, but when you think about it, 30 businesses and a server is a lot. So
Someone's been going around threatening to Molotov food places that doesn't have vegan up. What the fuck?
I don't have vegan options.
What the fuck?
Is that your character, Ivy?
Ivy, got some explaining to do. Is this me? It's me. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Dude,
I
it's you,
figured.
fam. Oh my god.
I could see one of you. Yeah,
Oh,
Tilly. I was like, I
Tilly.
bet it's Tilly. Yeah, that's so it's fun. I find that more fun. That's I think why I made Rain a vegetarian is because there wasn't that option. So it gave me more reason not to eat on her. But it also was like, there's like really not any options. I mean, we at the time when like businesses were starting to come around, it was Hobo Gems, Taco Hut, were like the main two. I think were the first two, and it's like obviously Hobo Gems was just full on meat. There's all the burgers, everything like that. There was even a point where Tyler, the cop that died on her, um, he knew about her disorder and would like bring her little things and like try to help her like get over that fact of her eating disorder and just be like he was just trying to be really kind. But he knew she was a vegetarian too, but he brought her fries from Hobo Jim's and they were fried in like pork fat or something.
Oh my
And
god.
she had ate them and not realized it. And when he found out that's what they were fried in, he like cried and he was really upset about it. Um it was, really funny to actually have that interaction because, like, for me, I could care less, but
Right.
that was actually, like, a big deal to him because
Well, it
that
also
was
brings role play, right? Like having
yeah.
that like I said, having that quirk and having that like I can't eat this. That's why like a lot of times whenever I think it was one point with food businesses that like they had like if you have this food allergy, watch out for this food or whatever the case may be. Like having that role play of like, hey, if you have a food allergy, watch out for this, and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that'd be fun for, like, if somebody did come in and do that as well. Again, I think people would be a little annoyed by that whole, like, you're bringing, like, negative business to me, but I think it's fun. It makes people think, "Where is this?" Sorry, I'm looking for that proposal. I would say at least for like business proposal wise, we're looking at like 50 plus businesses.
Oh my god. Do you
There's so
think do
many.
you think
We get
that all of them
apps
would
all
get
the
through?
time.
Like, do you think
No.
or do you think it's like so like I don't want to be like too I don't know how to explain it, like how everybody's like obviously wants to know more about businesses and like the process and stuff, but like what's something that like really sticks out with like businesses, like with having something that obviously on a I guess like because a lot of it's OOC, right? It's like you can't just always
The process of getting everything, yeah, is
yeah
very OC.
yeah
With our even our Discord, I make it very clear that everything in there is OC because it's very hard for
to describe everything in
them.
character like
Yeah, it's very hard to like, especially with like mechanic wise, it's very hard to sit there and like explain to somebody like what's gonna work, what's not gonna work, especially from like dev point of views. The only dev we have that actually interacts like as a character would be Norma, and Jan. They are very good at making that his RP or making that their RP. Um, because it's like designing a building and everything like that, and he wants that to be
yeah
more fun for you guys will at the same time, other devs can't really do that type of thing because it's very technical, very like, oh yeah, yeah, I'll get you your menu done, but like their character's a criminal in the server, so they can't really do that same thing that Norma's done, and they're doing a really good job with it. So there's a lot more interaction with at least like building customization wise. But OOC, it's a lot of back and forth OOC, like talking
Yeah.
and requesting things.
So with how obviously like we mentioned earlier about how
Oh,
business committee
45. We have 45
45.
uh, uh,
Jesus.
waiting or
Okay, so
proposals to be looked at.
what's something I want to go back to it though, is like what's something that like what intrigues you for a business when like looking at it? Like what kind of was something that like, oh, like this is something that's for sure like would be very beneficial for like both parties of like a business owner and people in the city. I haven't like seen it yet.
Um,
Because I'm
are you
sure a
talking
lot
about
because a
just
lot
like what do I look for mostly in proposals?
I
I think I
guess
look.
yeah.
I'm not gonna give like the whole process,
Oh yeah,
obviously,
yeah,
because I
yeah.
don't want people to sit there and that becomes the new meta of proposals. But
I'm
um,
trying to get this information, guys. Don't worry, I got you. I'll pick one for the squad. Don't worry, boys. Don't worry.
I think a lot of it comes down to originality. Obviously, that's the main thing, and then like how driven are you? Obviously, because you have to be very patient. With the business committee, you have to be very patient to get a business. Even when you get accepted, it may take months and months for your business to ever open. Um, that's a big issue for us. Another issue is it a vending type of business or is it an actual interior type business? Here recently, at least with like 30 businesses nowadays, it's very hard to add more and more and more interiors into the server.
Right.
I have to look at it very logically from a staff perspective instead of like, oh, this would be very cool to have this interior and that interior. That's a big part of Norma's job as well is optimizing and making sure this business isn't going to crash everyone and everything else. I know recently I've been told that even A&E right now with how big it is, it's causing a lot of issues with people. Uh, and then you got to think about how many other interiors are in one location. You have, I think, even near Carbon and Chrome. You have Carbon and Chrome with all their people that they have over there. You have Bahama Mama's open over there. You have a couple other places. LA is right down the road. There's so many interiors, and that bogs down the server, especially with 400 people in it,
Yeah.
to the point that it's just gonna get worse and worse. So right now, it's really looking at I'd say interiors are the biggest issue. It'll be a big issue of whether we deny or accept it. Um, I'm more looking for hopefully more vending type of businesses to come through. I'd love to see somebody just come through and just want to. I think even Mag himself has brought it up multiple times to me of just like somebody wanting to do a hot dog business.
Oh, that'd be
And you just have
sick.
your little cart. You just give out hot dogs. I think that would be super cute. Even like a little ice cream truck business. Stuff like that. I feel like people don't really think of like the small type thing that or they think they can't do those type of things. I'm pushing for those more because it's less heavy and intensive on the server for us to do that than say a business that has like 3 floors to it and all this like extra work to it.
Yeah.
Which is not a bad thing if you want to do that. You just have to really push for it and really like have a really well thought out in-depth plan on it. And it's gonna be I'm gonna look at it and be like, is it worth putting more like bog down on the server to do? Like you can sit here and have like the biggest proposal out there, or not even the biggest proposal, like the best presentation out there, but I still have to sit there and think about it. Is this going to hurt the server or is it gonna be like fun for the server? Um that's like the big issue right now with businesses, which a lot of the new businesses that I've seen that are applying, some are great, some are people don't understand how to do proposals, and that's why they also get denied. Um, so a lot of your proposals can get you denied as well. I just don't think
Just
you're that
wording, right?
dedicated to it.
Or
I'd
like,
say Burger Shot has been probably my best proposal meeting I've ever had. I love Burger Shot. They brought a whole mascot there and had him doing like a whole like performance routine and was just being silly about it. They understood the assignment of it's literally a presentation. You're doing a presentation. Some people will just, if they're one on one, they'll do just like meetings and talk to you and just have questions, and that's fine.
oh
We
Jesus,
haven't
call me
denied
out.
we haven't denied people for that. Um, we have denied some people because we feel like there could have been more from their proposal and their presentation. And some people, if they had like really well thought out answers and everything else when we ask questions, they didn't need to be denied for that. And here recently, it is gonna have to it is really a picky thing that's gonna have to happen is whether or not I can bring you in because of your interior or not. I'd say the businesses that want their interiors are harder. Are gonna be like picked through very, very meticulously compared
Right.
to a vendor type of business. And that's really not their fault. That is just the fault of we have so many businesses. And that's again no one's fault. We want the businesses, we want everything. I'd like to see more stuff up north. That's a big thing that I'd like to see. I know some people are trying to open a few things up north. I'd like to keep seeing that because too much stuff in the city right now.
Oh,
Way too much
true.
stuff.
I think the
So,
CNC up in Harmony is like it gets so much business up there, and like
mhm.
it's starting to become like a hub of like people go there and hang out just because it's
Yeah,
away
so
from the
why not
city,
should
you
they
know.
have like a food business down there? They don't have any food up there at all.
Yeah, they
Um,
have like a little store beside the garage. I think it's like a little it's like where the gas station is. It's like right there, you know.
oh yeah, they have that little convenience store there.
I s-
I'm sure they'd love like a business up there up north.
Well, I think imagine this, right? A collaboration with a business, right? Like
Hmm.
obviously CNC isn't hurting for cash. So like if CNC were to like own like half the business or whatever, and it's like that building's already there. All you gotta do now is pay for construction for it to get looked however they want it, right? And then add that those mechanics for just like a hot dog stand. You know what I'm saying? Like have it to where like it's, the role play
There was
of oh go ahead.
Sorry. I was gonna say there was CNC has tried that actually. They had one business we did, except sadly he couldn't do it anymore because he had a lot of IRL stuff happen and he couldn't continue that RP. But there was CNC literally made a business deal with somebody. It's like if you get approved, you can have your vendor stand on our business and sit there and sell food. It was literally he had like a whole like it was like it was breakfast, lunch, and dinner was his business. Was what his business was called, and it was kind of like the Irish or English breakfast style type of business. And I was really excited to see it because it was another vendor type business. He had like a small little um thing going. He had like a small little trailer he wanted, and he wanted to be able to move it. And he actually like paid for like a parking space on CNC property and everything to sit there and sell. And he would actually had the idea of hiring CNC employees because Nate has so many employees and he didn't have the second location at the time that it was like a battle of who would work there more
Hmm.
or who was working, who wasn't. So he had the idea of hiring CNC employees so some people could work the mech shop and some people could work the little food stand. And it was a really cute idea and I loved it, but sadly he couldn't do that RP. I don't think he even RPs in the server right now. But like people can do that. Like the the sky's the limit with businesses. And honestly, your only limit is if a dev can do it or not.
I see. I feel like with mech shops and the fact that you know what I really wish I can see. I know that there's some people that are like they'll say like they're at this gas station just to kind of they're at it, just to be there. But like a full fledged working gas station would be sick.
I'd like to
Like
see it. I
Like,
haven't seen. There might be a proposal for it. I mean, like, there's 45. I haven't looked at all of them yet, but that'd be cool. I'd love to see a just a gas station. Like, even there's a business right now that's reusing an interior that just getting redone, but it's already like a main interior in the server. So, sorry, I'm
oh,
reading Bonnie's
oh my
message.
god, what the fuck? Oh my,
Sorry, that was aggressive.
what the? Oh my god.
But if that like if an interior in the server is not being used and then somebody wants to utilize it, that's also something that's like okay, that's easy for us to do compared to adding in a whole different file and more storage into the server. So it's actually very fun.
Well, I think also like if let's say for example, like well, see, I don't know if people would be down for that, but like my biggest thing I love doing is like collaborations. Like I love doing business collaborations.
That's our
And
favorite thing to do in Legacy.
yeah, I love it, right? There was one I was
Mhm.
trying to bite me to where like if someone gets a moment's meal, they get the meal, but they also get a Kree coin. That Kree coin you get to turn in to get a free Polaroid. Basically
Oh
like
yeah, I forgot about your Kree coins. I
yeah.
love
Yeah,
those.
I
Yeah.
try to get it, but like I don't know if it's like if it's ever gonna happen, but like stuff like that is like, you know, if someone has like a gas station, right? And like they can speak to businesses and they can pay for a certain amount, but then they can like have like an express lane or whatever for food, and they basically
Mhm.
can like put it into, you know, the they buy the food at the gas station, but the gas station makes profit from the food or some source like that, right? Like having
Never. So keep going.
oh, I forgot what I was gonna say. It's okay.
So sorry. I was gonna say I remember like when we first had Legacy, or at least the building before what we had now, we had that cute little deal with Thorhall. I see him in the chat, so I want to bring him up. And I wish we could have had actual like vouchers that he could have gave us to like hand out if people bought this amount of food. Because
Yeah.
I know we did that at one point where it was like um he wanted to do a business where it was like we were doing I think I forget what type of event we were probably a song release event that we were doing.
Probably.
And and he was like, "Yeah, I want to work with you guys and like give out my weed, but I also would like if you would like give out like coupons or a voucher and just be like, hey, you bought this, so here's your voucher, and then you just go find Thorhan and you go buy whatever you need or want from him that he was selling at that point." I love that. I love the cute little collaborations and just people working together. I literally just smile so big with
Mhm.
people's creativity, and I would love to see that more. I think a lot of businesses like fight each other a lot, but I also see a lot of businesses that do collab and they have their meetings and stuff, and that's really nice. Burger
Did it-
Shot with their I'm not gonna spoil what they have coming, but they have a bunch of stuff coming. Um, I thought it was really cute the deal that we had with Legacy with them at one point. I was excited for it, but I'm not gonna push it forward as well. I think those are really cute and like makes having a business worth it compared to just like, oh, I'm making money, right?
did I show you the Kree coin?
I don't think I've seen the green coin, no.
Here, I sent it to you. There you go. It's pretty sick. Like has like moments photography.
It's like a
Like
little quarter. That's
yeah,
cute.
yeah.
I
Like
love
so I
that.
was yeah, it's pretty sick. Like and we were gonna have like bite me have it to where it's like I said, you buy the mill and then the coin, you give it to Kareem and then you get the Polaroid. And so like you basically make a
Right.
currency with the with an item.
Yeah, you're making a cute little currency. It's just
Yeah,
like something that's like that brings RP to you, but you also had to put RP into like
yeah.
using it. It's a great idea. I love that idea. I really enjoy people collaborating and working together with even like Sasha, where she did um the whole collab with A&E, and they just modeled on their cars and did advertisements for A&E. It's just like it's just that fun like helping each other out and just interacting with each other. And it's really makes my heart happy.
Well, I think that a lot of times, like I said, when we reference back when we first were playing, or when it was when it was Envy, and it felt like businesses were very close to each other. I don't know if that yeah, if
Mm,
you felt that way also. Like,
I didn't
you know,
feel that way.
I
I
felt
think, well,
I
maybe yes and no, yes and no. I think Hobo Gyms and like the one mech
no, no,
shop were
before that.
close.
Before Hobo Gyms. I'm talking about like, with the Taco Hut and the mech shop, and then obviously like that's about it, right? Like there was no
Yeah.
way for businesses to even collaborate. I don't, and to be honest with you, I don't think it was even a thought in the head for something like that, because those businesses, like, it was kind of like a like stay in my lane, stay in your lane type thing. And I think that once businesses started to kind of, become more like, Hobo Gym, stuff like that, like actually
Mhm.
started to be more frequent. I think that other businesses was like, wait a sec, like I can make more money if I like, or even not even that, just like have that rapport of like, you know, people know your business even more if it's broadcasted more, obviously. So like I think, having that business work together and being broadcasted more show, like that business even
Right.
more.
Yeah. And that's also something I'm planning to push. Actually, I'm not gonna bring that up because I feel like people are gonna mad at that.
Well, 100%.
I'm
100%.
not, I'm not gonna bring it up. There's
100%.
things that I'm like looking at more to help, at least from the business community wise, like push advertising wise, and like just doing highlights of like, hey, you really should go like to this business type of thing. So there's a lot of plans that I have coming up soon. I know we have an OC business meeting happening where I want to sit down and like listen to complaints. I know the big complaint right now, and it will probably always be a complaint, and I hate that it is, but it's something that I can't really control is the crime happening at businesses or people coming and getting harassed by criminals and stuff like that. Like there's stuff I can't like control. That's nothing that we can do. We can't put green zones on businesses. There's been ideas that I've brought up before of certain like essential businesses having um like the little like a little call button that says like, hey, we're being robbed or something like
That'd
that. At
be
least
sick. That'd be pretty cool.
I thought of that at least for the gun business, but there's been a lot of negative feedback from that as well. At least like staff discussion wise, why we don't do it or why we should do it. So it's like a work in progress, but sadly, there's nothing we can really do if your RP ends up leading to like you getting harassed by criminals. Besides, going the lawsuit route, going the restraining order route, which I'd push for more because DOJ need more stuff to do. They
Let's
have
see.
their team keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Let's see. That's
I
when.
keep having to do more and more paperwork with all this stuff that's happening recently.
Well, see, that's the
And
thing though, right? Too, right? Is that like that RP would be really fucking cool. It'd be really cool to kind of have that. But back what we were saying though is that like some people aren't gonna be here, so they may cause an incident that may cause you to get a restraining order on them, right? Or whatever the case may be. But tomorrow they won't even be there, or the next day, or the next day. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you could go that route and have that role play and it'd be set in stone. But then it's like, even then, it's like that's the end of it. So it's like, you know, I don't know. It gets very like wishy washy.
yeah.
It's like
Uh
you can go that route, but then it's like if I go that route, then it's like more than you just don't know. It's like, well, I don't want to sign a whole ass paper, and then it's like by the time that you send in, they've already logged out. They're already not even paying attention anymore.
right. Well, it's the DOJ's job to inform them, or actually, I think it's PD. It's either PD
Oh,
or DOJ's
dude.
job to like send that restraining order out. But it's also like there's the issue that I even have with PD where it's like you feel like PD does nothing for civilians,
I feel like PD doesn't
and I don't.
like that's dude, I'm right with you. Like if you try and report a crime, it literally won't. Like it's like I know they're really busy, and obviously I respect that because like they're dealing with like literal shitters. Like I never understood that.
That's why I can't do cop RP. I respect everyone that can handle that RP. I can't do it.
Yeah, no, I can't. That's why I'm
I
like,
can't handle it.
I don't
I
want
can't
Jimmy to get
handle
ruined.
people being aggressive to me constantly or just
Yeah,
being actual like trolls. I can't. Uh, it is hard, and I don't blame cops for not being able to handle civilians. And like, for example, if let's again use the gun store for an example. Even if they did have that buzzer and they buzz for like help because they're getting robbed or getting shot, um, would PD even have enough people to come and help them? And then it's again another blame thrown on PD that they just don't have enough manpower to handle those situations. It's a big that's one of the reasons why we don't really think about bringing that in because
yeah,
it's already hard enough for PD as it is. We have like say for example even 20 cops is a lot for when I think about 20 cops is a lot. And at one point, I even saw like 50 cops on, but then you have 50 cops against a city of 300. And there's something constantly going on. Even on EMS, you'll constantly see stuff like you're busy. You're so fucking
yeah.
busy. And it's so hard to like sit there and take a breather and be like, okay, maybe I should go look for like another RP, like go take a complaint, do this and that. And that's something that I know Mag has brought up a lot where he's like, I wish cops went out of their way to look for more RP besides the shootouts and everything else. I know some cops, I think, at least when you're starting out, even like when I was a cadet, um, that's what you want to kind of do because you just want to like show face to the other officers.
Yeah.
But then eventually, once you get in a position where you have more freedom, you should like go out and like look for different RP. But cops kind of get stuck in this like day to day. This is the same old thing. Like go to the bank robbery. Okay, go to Evangelicos. Okay, chase this guy speeding. Oh, now there's boosting. Now we're into a 2 hour chase of boosting. Like they're literally so locked into all the crime that it's hard for them to go out and have different RP. That's why
That's
you see some staff go out
yeah.
of their way to do that. Like Astrid for the longest time was parking enforcement. And I think it's the cutest fucking thing in the world to see her in that little fucking pigeon car going around and giving people tickets or harassing people for not sitting or parking in the right spot. I wish that was a more common thing to do. But it's just PD are so damn fucking busy they can't do it. It's very hard for them, and I feel very bad for them. But at the same time, it's very frustrating from a civilian standpoint.
Yeah,
Where you just
and
want to have that interaction, you want to have that investigation, you want to have that conflict, but it's just so much happening in one server that it's hard to follow other people's stories.
well, then it's like going with stories, right? Is like, even for example, how, if you want to make a, well, grand enough, I'm tired of doing it, but like making serial killer art, RP and stuff like that, or just a role play that would bring in police.
Mhm.
It's like, you know, they have a lot of stuff going on at the same time, but it's like, you know, you may not have a cop or anybody interested in like you first attack. They may not give two craps about it. They may be like, all right, well, someone got hurt, time to bring them to the hospital, and hopefully they make it. But then it's like, there may be a small window that there may be a cop who like actually grabs onto it, and actually really breaks it out. But there's a lot of times where, like you said, cops are just so busy. So it's like, when you want to make a story, it's like, but is it gonna get attention? Like, because
Is
at the
it
same,
gonna get attention? Is it gonna get the love that it deserves?
yeah,
Is somebody gonna sit there and literally that was my goal as a cop. I wanted to join the I forget what the department's called, but basically the investigation department, the detective type of stuff. I wanted to help bring that like life um to the detective department where it's like this is what gain the evidence. Look for the blood and look for the DNA, look for all this stuff on this because I wanted to help with like the serial killer and those people that have that RP. And it is very like frustrating and hard to see that even as staff when we sit there and we're like obviously we're kind of like we have you guys um apply basically to be serial killers at this point or like show us that you're gonna have a good story for serial killers because one too many people do it and then you have there's it's too much stress on cops, but then when we approve one and then like a really good story gets put out, even a dev like putting in some work to like give even like a big scenario, and then you see detectives not really taking it seriously or like doing the job properly, it's very demotivating to see as well.
Yeah.
And I think it's just because cops are stressed, they're they're tired, and that's why we did put that like restraint on serial killers.
At one point, it was like 6 of them rolling around. That was after Ink. And it was just like,
Sometimes it becomes like it's just what's popular right now. When
Jesus.
staff pushed ahead and did the lifers became very, very popular. And then staff stopped being lifers, and then it seemed like lifers were kind of like dying again. Here recently, it looks like lifers are actually doing really well without having like staff involvement, which is really nice
Yeah, I
to
got one.
see.
I got one. I
You
wanted
have
to.
another one?
Yeah. He has no hand, which is how cool is that?
I've thought about doing another lifer again, but
It's
I
fun.
have too much going on.
My guy's a cannibal, and like I'm trying to sneak in meat into the prison. You can edit this and tell the police, but um you can tell them because they won't believe you.
Because you're like, I want them,
I want them in.
them to fucking.
Yeah, fuck it. So my guy was talking to the I don't know who this guy was, but he was like, I need human meat, and he was like, okay, I'll deliver it. And it's like, my goal is to have him like get this meat in. They deliver the meat, be like, hey, he wanted to cook this meat for the prisoners or whatever, and they cook it up, and everyone eats it, right? But then it's like, does it taste good? It's like, yeah, it's like good because it's human meat cut from fresh from the thought. Like, you're like, oh my god, it's like, I want the biggest
I love
fucking, toy. I get, oh my god, he's fixing us food. That's so nice. They're all eating it. They're like, oh my god, I'm so like they're eating a lot, and then it's like, it tastes good. Yeah. Oh, why? It's like because it's human meat. It's just like, oh my god, if people would feel so, they would not trust that character anymore. They would. It would.
I feel like a few tickets would open.
Few tickets would open up for sure. I would get to
I
a
feel like you.
ticket and they'd be like, Jimmy, you can't do this. This is a no-no. I was like, but they didn't know about it, and it was hidden in front of the DOC's noses, and I had RP, but I feel like it wouldn't.
My cannibals in there.
My,
It should be labeled as you probably shouldn't eat what the cannibals
yeah,
gave you.
everyone's because say he builds a rapport of like everyone like knows him, he's trust, like, oh, he's not hurting nobody, he's just sitting there, and he's like, oh, you can cook us a nice meal, and he cook us a nice meal, and it's like, it's a little funny. It's like, oh, you know why? It's like, it's like, oh, he's a cannibal, and he figured out a way to get meat into prison, and it's like, I think once that happens, they would just put him in max security and never let him out again, which I'd be down for, to be honest. Like, all right, okay, I'm okay with this, and then just never get on ever again. Just be like the
Yeah.
biggest April Fool's joke ever.
Yeah, stuff like that. It's it's nice to see whenever like at least when staff push things, that people kind of like latch onto it and they're like, "Oh, I can do that," and then they'll go do it. We wish that a lot of people would step out of their comfort zone. Here recently, there have been a lot of people opening tickets and like asking to do this type of RP or do something else. So it's nice seeing that. Obviously, we still put a vote to it because we have to consider whether it's harmful or not, whether we're going to be seeing constant tickets opening over because people don't enjoy it or something like that. It's always something that we have to
I feel like
consider.
everyone's not gonna like what you do. Like the amount of people that
People
were.
didn't like that we did the militia for just wiping the surf.
That's what I'm saying, right?
People
And
were very,
yeah,
very upset over that. They didn't like the whole idea of like a warmonger basically taking over the island. People were very upset about that, but it wasn't like to trigger people. It was literally just a story we needed to like wipe and give a reason. Like, why is all my stuff gone? Why is my 4 million, 5 million, whatever the fuck people had at that point? Why
economy was
is all that
broken.
gone?
It
Why
was
is
so
my 6
broken.
houses gone?
The economy was so broken. It was filthy. It wasn't even fun. Like there'd be people, because now it's like, people selling used cars or whatever, and they're just like, yeah, it was this account. Now it's worth $500,000. Like, how did it go from 100,000 to 500? Like, I don't. it's not aged wine. Like that's not how it works. Like what?
I
Like
feel like our economy is getting bad again.
yeah, and
I
it's
know
just getting
Seth has
started.
brought it up again.
It's just got started too. Like I mean,
Well, it's been over a year.
yeah,
It's
but
been
even
over a year
then,
since we wiped.
well, see,
But
I don't know.
it's bad. I mean, with the constant changes that people are like, this doesn't pay enough, this doesn't pay enough. You have people who sit there and grind and grind and grind because they want something. They want to be able to have a amount of money to live. And then you have like that money coming in from scripts. It's gonna boost your economy over time. There's literally nothing you can really do about that.
Yeah, I've
Um,
gotten people mad at Cree because his Polaroids aren't like 4 or 5K. They're like, you need to make it cost more. People can give you more money. I'm like, bro, like they're 500 because it's a fucking Polaroid. Not Polaroid
yeah.
dipped in gold. Like, what the fuck? Like, I get it if it was like one of those like rare ones or whatever, but like, I don't know.
Mhm.
It's like I like the feel of like it not costing like a very pretty penny because imagine you first come to the city and you want to get a Polaroid. Guess what? It's like 6K and you gotta grind out for like an hour maybe or some shit and then be able to and like stuff like that. It's like I just don't under that,
Yeah,
you know.
it's not you gotta sit there and think about the new people to the city, um, whether they have that money or not. And that's why I always hate making our tickets legacy like over 250
Well, people
because
complain either way. There's like it costs too much.
yeah,
It's like you literally
even at
went
250 they complain, but it's like I feel bad at least for like the new people.
yeah.
New people wise, I want them to experience like what we offer to the city, what we have to do for fun. But at the same time, it's like some like you can get that money easy nowadays.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of people nowadays also complain about. I know there's a big complaint right now with how warehouses got upped in price, and people complain about how imports from Empire Imports is way too expensive. But people don't sit there and realize they're that expensive because they're money dumps.
Yeah.
We're there to take your money.
Weird
We're there
flex.
to well, Empire doesn't get that money. We get enough money to pay our employees, but we don't get a lot on that money. That it, it gets deleted basically from the server, and then because you got to sit there and think you have money coming in from scripts, from the random basic jobs, you have money coming in from people doing crime that gets generated and put into the server. So you have to have ways and reasons for money to disappear also from the server, or you're going to be back in that at that time point where 10 million is easy to get or easy or normal to have in the server, where we don't want that to be a thing. Some people should, some people, when they put enough work in, should have be those millionaires and everything, and some people shouldn't have that much money.
People
Like
freaking
that's just
out.
how it should be.
People were freaking out about Jimmy because he was eating a garbage bread one day, and they're like, "Jimmy, stop eating!" I'm like, "I don't have any money to get food. Like what do you like? You own an actual successful record label. Like, how are you broke?" It's like, bro, I just don't have any money.
It's not
Like,
my money. We like to
like,
say that it's
yeah,
not
it's
our
like it's
money.
not my money. It's the business money. So like, it's like it's
Yeah,
like
that's how like Newt used to say as well. But when she owned PDM, it's like it's the business's money. It's not my money.
that's how I feel with Cree
Like,
too. Like it's just not. It's like it's the bit. Like that's how I'm able to get like the sets and stuff because it's just like it's what I'm gonna use for moments. You know, not for Cree, but like for moments as a whole.
yeah.
You know.
Like we're always scared to take money out of Legacy because it's just like I mean we're scared even on Empire to take money out of Empires because we just want to have that money to like be able to come back on in case something happens or
Yeah.
like a big expense comes through. Like it would have been nice when we did move Legacy to have that 700K sitting there, but we didn't. We had a little less than 200K, and that was over a year's time of working and everything else. That was just, and then recently now we have a decent amount, and that we're able to finally buy things that we want as owners to like have that RP, like go buy a house and own a house and
You know we're gonna
go
get.
get
You
cars.
know we're gonna get now, right? We're gonna buy a fucking limousine, a Hummer limousine that we used to have before the wipe.
There's actually a process going out right now that's being worked on, where people can do that and get limousines. It's a bit of a secret right now. It's something you have to find out in character.
Well,
Um,
you can't just go to. LA and just buy a Hummer or like
No,
oh shit. Okay, well,
no.
fuck.
You can rent them, but there's gonna be a different way of how you can get limousines and like some other. I don't know if any other cars right now there is, but the limousines were brought up before because staff didn't really understand why limousines weren't being sold, and at the same time, I don't want like everyone in the city to own limousines because they have the money to do so.
Yeah.
So there's a process being made now to where again you have to find out how to do it, but there is going to be ways for people to uh, RP and get and be able to buy that at some point. Right now, I don't think it's completely active because it's kind of on me to do, but it's coming. It'll be worked on, and then people will find out, and then they'll go through it, and then they'll get a limousine. Um, there's other thing. Basically, I use Rain as like waste as a tool. I kind of like saying that on Rain, and I say that on Kimiko too. Um, she's a tool. She's used to sit there and help facilitate and make things easy for people and to go to and be like, hey, I want this. Can I get this? And type of
I
thing.
want this. Give.
Is it possible? And then Rain's job is to go and ask and figure it out. She's kind of basically that in between of, can I do this? And that's always something that's she's basically come down to. Kimiko is kind of that same way. If we ever come in and talk about racing at one point, obviously she helps facilitate running the racing scene. Actually, the Fujiwara girls are the main girls that do it, and they do it really well. Um, I like to like remind people that uh, we're or the Fujiwara, the Hashiraya, that people like will find out because it's kind of like a secret thing. But if you do find out, or if you do know about, great. People like to think that they run the racing scene, that they're stuck having to deal with the Hashiraya, when we're really just the Hashiraya are tools. They're used to help facilitate other racing scenes.
Okay.
And people don't really see it like that, but that's really what they are. Um, they're there to be used to make this and that, but they are also characters within themselves, which means, hey, you can't come up to me like, hey, give me this, and like be completely rude to somebody. Like you still have to like correspond and like interact. If you interact negatively, you might be get shut out of something that you wanted to be interacted with. Does that stop you from doing something? No. It doesn't stop you from racing. It doesn't stop you from doing other things or finding other avenues. Um, but yeah. A lot of my characters, besides that, I wouldn't say I wouldn't call Julia a tool. I think Julia's there to like support other people, but I would say Kimmy and Rain are very just much just tools to be used, and people have to figure that out for themselves. And like once they figure out like, hey, if I do this with that person, maybe I can get something out of it. A lot of people, I think, nowadays, you get stuck in your friend group and you don't like to like go out and interact and like talk to people, so you don't realize the potential that you could like make by making another friend or making a good business deal or something like that.
So with us kind of like closing a little bit, I do want to kind
Hmm.
of, I'm glad you brought that up though, is that like with your characters and kind of having it where, you know, you play that supportive role, and I can confirmly say multiple times I played, and I've used Lola's term, the main character. Like I played a very story heavy driven character, and a very like it was very a well known character that was the attention I made clear to put him into the spotlight at all times, um to be seen and to be, you know, recognized and stuff. It's like,
Hmm.
and then once I've done that and once I've kind of put my character out there to be seen and to be recognized, it's like I now catch myself being like, okay, I now just kind of, I still want to role play, I still want to have that story, but I want to be a supportive character in role play, and to like wouldn't be like the main full on character that would just like, you know, um like how I do with like with Jimmy or how with Mr. Ink and stuff like that, like not have it to where it's like it's on them, but like have it to where Kree's in the background. You know, he's kind of in the dark a little bit, and if you come to him and be like, "Hey, I want this done," he can do that, but not full on just like main. Like it's not all just on him. Like
Yeah.
do you have that kind of same thing also? Like, do you kind of have that like that feel of like obviously with Julia and with Rain and just with like pretty much all your characters, like do you prefer to be in the spotlight with your characters, or do you like that feel of like, you know, people do go to your characters, they do come up to your characters and like talk to them, but it's mostly just for like that next role play of like for them to go on their own type of story, you know?
I'd say I had my fun trying to be the main character. Erilyn was my main character. She was the one that was her own story, her own entity. She like did her thing. She had her like big dramatic. I mean, I even have a whole ass video of her death.
Yeah.
Like she was my big main character moment. And I've had other characters like that as well. I mean, Julia at one point she was her own main character. She did her own thing. But there's a point in time where you just kind of just want to sit back. I think that just kind of comes down to my personality. I'm very much somebody that is quiet and I like to sit back and I like to observe people. I like watching other people's stories. That's my main thing. So all of my characters recently, just with how much work that I do with staff and how much other like I said before, like becoming like tools, I enjoy that. I like being somebody's step into creating their story or creating their next like big moment or something. I like being like that. I like Julia, for example, um, with my kind of integrating with my video editing into her, even though she's technically not a video editor, but I wanted people to have that interaction of, hey, I can maybe get a video done with Julia, and like that's going to be something big and exciting for Legacy once those start coming out. And she's always been there to sit there and like take the hard jobs in Legacy and let other people have fun, let the artists have fun. A lot of our directors are now taking that step in as well of like being that person to take on the work and then let those artists have fun and like have their moment as artists and and just enjoy their RP. It's always the same thing with yeah, like with Kimiko. It's the same thing of okay, I will sit here and do the work for you. I'll get you what you need. We'll have events. We'll do this and that for you to have your next tool to go on and like continue your story. Or, for example, take whatever tools or like work with me, and you can create your own racing scene and be this like really cool badass racing scene that we want to see every single day. And with Rain, you have this really cool business idea, and you come to Rain and you show that you're dedicated and show that you want to have this RP of a business owner and you want to like interact with so many people and do all these things. And it's like, yeah, if you and show it that you want to do this, and then like it doesn't hurt the server in any way, we're gonna push for that RP, and you can have that RP. That's really our fun way of. It's my fun way of just like getting to interact with that story, but also not being the main part of that story, I
Right.
guess is
The main
how
focus
you
for the
finish
story.
that.
Yeah.
I like being a step in your story, I guess.
So you step on me, please.
Step on me, please. No. That's
I'm gonna put that on my Discord as quoted by Ray. Step on me, please. Thank you. It's like, wait, what?
But no, it's I wish people would like jump out of their comfort zone and talk. I think me and you both have experience where there's people who they're very weird with talking to other people that aren't their friends.
Oh,
Which
100%.
I'm that way too. I'm not good at meeting new people, but it's that's how you RP. That's how you find out how to do something else in the city. That's how you can find out secrets. There's so many people in the server and so many people that have there's so many things that you don't know that goes on in the city that you might end up like winding up in that space at some point. I mean, all my characters besides I think Kimiko because Kimiko was made to be a tool
Yeah.
was like Rain and Julia are not at a point in their life where I expected them to be. and that's because they interacted and they went on to different things and stories happened. Rain was never meant to be in business committee. She was never meant to be a judge, but she became those things to help stories build, and she became those things because of like her interacting with Smiles, those people dying on her, all that stuff. Julia became more than just a supportive character for somebody else, which we talked about this the other day, and I'm not gonna sit here and go through all of Julia's backstory. uh, but yeah, Julia became a supportive character for somebody else that needed a big like gasp dramatic moment dramatic moment for them, and then she became her own entity, became her own main character. And then nowadays she's come back to being a supporter character, but also having and living her own life with Carter, Jimmy, Sasha, and all that. So I do very much enjoy just being a supporter and watching other people grow because I find everyone's creativity really fun to like witness. I really enjoy seeing how creative people can be and like how creative the devs can even be when they're needed and they create something really fun and interactive. I think this month alone with Pride, with like seeing at least from a staff point of view all the things people are planning to do for Pride is going to be a big month for Echo in itself. I think people are really going to enjoy this month. Hopefully, we'll see.
What I was thinking the other day when I first got into GTA roleplay, uh, thinking back the way that like cops used to have to use Discord as a walkie-talkie,
I remember
like,
that.
and then look at it now to where it's like just the amount of like, and I'm not even talking about just, I'm talking about all devs in general, just like how far GTA roleplay has went to where now to where it's at. It's like damn, like this shit's kind of crazy. Like when you think about it, like GTA originally was like walkie talkies on Discord, like, and then it went to TeamSpeak, and then it finally went to In City, like like
Yeah.
the way
Thank
you know.
God, I hated TeamSpeak.
I did too. It helped a lot with like voice changers and stuff, but like, or even play music with through that. But like, it was definitely, when we were having issues with Naldi's event, people were, I think it was L'Oreal playing music through her microphone, and
Oh,
then Sasha
Keshi,
was,
yeah,
yeah.
Keshi was doing
Sasha was like, I can't listen to this anymore. Like I can't listen to it like this. It's like, but at the funny thing
Yeah,
is, like that's how it used to be. Only be was like that, and it
yeah.
was like, it's one
I
of
mean,
those
that's how we
things.
used to do. We used
Yes,
to before flaws and like added the stereo system in for us it was legacy.
we
Yeah,
would. We got,
we would
yeah,
release music through Discord, and
yeah.
people would sit there and join a voice call and listen. I thought that's what we were gonna do at Naldi's event too, but Keshi played it on his phone, and I was like, that's fine. But it is kind of like we want people to hear it at its full quality, so
Yeah.
it's nice to have the things that devs do put in and like flaws and them work their asses off putting in, and then we get to experience it. We're very spoiled in that fact. A
Yes.
lot of people don't really see that, but we are very spoiled when it comes to our devs and how much time and effort they put in. Um, Even with like Norma recently, she is a little crazy. I've never seen so much building customization, and I enjoy it and I love it. And I think even for like I said, this Pride Month, people keep asking for more Pride stuff. In the even the Diamond Casino looks amazing with its Pride flag. Like our devs are like on it and they're crazy and they're overworked, and I feel bad for them. So it's we're trying to help reduce that stress. At the same time, they're kind of crazy and they kind of want to just do everything. So love our
100%.
dubs to death.
I think,
We are spoiled to
oh,
death.
100%. Absolutely. I think that like last year's Pride was very like, it was really cool and kind of like the stuff that we had planned. But I think this year it's like doubled, it's
Oh,
like,
it's definitely double.
it's doubled.
I'd say almost tripled, at least for like population wise.
Oh, 100%.
I
Yeah.
think we were like what at 180 during that time,
Yeah.
if that. And now we're at like 400 people. Hopefully we have figure out an idea for that because I even like playing music with just 180 people was hard around that time. So
It's gonna
No,
be
we
a lot
have
of Discord
ideas, so
sharing.
hopefully
It's gonna be a lot of
a
Discord
lot of
sharing.
Discord sharing
A
for
lot
it
of Discord
comes.
sharing. Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see. I think there's gonna be so much events and a lot of stuff going on this month. That'll be a lot of fun.
But yeah, yeah, thank you so much for coming on here though. Like, I know
Yeah,
that
for sure.
you were very hella nervous but I think that with a pre-show before we started shop, we
Our
were,
fucking little pre-show.
yeah, a little pre-show that we were just talking like, I think, I'm glad it was, you're able to come on and talk about your behind the role play. And I don't know, just thank you for all that you do for Echo. I know that probably part of the thing is nothing, but like, I think that with the conversation we had before, I think that you can definitely agree that you know you've helped a lot like flow through the server. Like, you've adopted this position in the server that, like, not a lot of people would do. um and I think that with how
No,
you've
sir, on the
adopted,
business committee. I'm
yeah,
stuck.
yeah, like you're stuck. Like if you go, yeah, like if you leave, the whole server will probably catch on flames. And
No, that's not true.
I think it's true.
Uh,
But I'm
That's
getting
not true
word.
at all.
I'm getting word from press that it is true. But again, thank you for all you do for the community and everything in roleplay.
Yeah. I feel weird getting thanked for that, but thank you.
Too fucking bad.
I'm
um
sorry. I'm so negative. I don't take this. I'm
no,
just
no,
like,
no, it's fine, babe. Sure. Oh well,
I'm just like, I don't like being thanked, but
well, thank you. Yeah,
thank you for thanking.
yeah, yeah. So for after every episode, we do, we have the guest pick who we should raid. So who do you think we should raid tonight?
Oh god.
There's about 20 people streaming, so there's a big ass list of people.
Oh no. I'm a bad staff. I don't sub to people. I don't sub, I don't follow people. Let's see. So from the Echo list,
Hmm.
let's do. I gotta check. Yeah, because I don't know some of these people. We got a lot of new streamers lately. Oh my god, come on, commercial. Let's do Doom.
Doom.
Yeah, Doom. She's on her cop right now.
Okay, gotcha. All right.
I love her. She's also a new business owner, but she's on her cop right now. Is that how Doom walks now? I didn't even know that's how she walked.
All right. All right, chat. I appreciate y'all stopping by and watching. Thank you so much, Old Man Seeks, for the 6-month resub. 3 more months till we give birth, baby. Oh my, baby's gonna be weird. It's gonna be lactating. It's gonna be, God. Yeah, you missed it, Craig. I know. But hey, got the VOD, you know what I'm saying? Get to watch the whole fucking thing. Thank you so much for coming by though, Craig. And thank you so much, Sage, for stopping by. What's going on, Zach? Thank you for coming by. And
Thank you guys
Thorhall,
for coming by.
thank you so much for dropping the fucking Jimmy Sussy. Hell yeah. But yeah, beef jerky lactation, absolutely. I'm surprised again. I said this multiple times. I'm surprised I haven't got to pull to a ticket about that. Surprised no one's put a ticket like this. Makes me feel uncomfortable. The fact he lactates, like, be like, bro, it's literally been a part of my character for years now. Like, what the fuck?
I don't know that they wouldn't.
I'm sh-
We with staff would even know how to
I'd
handle
be like,
it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We're just like, it's Jimmy. I don't
It's
know what
Jimmy. I
to
don't know what you
do.
want us to do. Like, but anyways, we're gonna go ahead and raid Doom. I will see you guys soon. I don't think I'm gonna stream GTA because I'm gonna be late for the thing, even anyways. But
Oh shit! I'm
yeah,
sorry.
it's all good. So I told him I was gonna be late. But anyways, all right, we're gonna grade. I'll see y'all soon. Oh wait, this is when I started. Okay, all right, okay. But thank again for coming by, and thank you so much, Ray, for stopping by and talking behind the role play.
For sure.
All right, and raid.